This is probably the first generation in the history of mankind that has unlearned to just feel bad. We are probably the first generation that obsesses over always trying to feel good all of the time. And I'm not even talking about instant gratification, because that's one thing. But what I am talking about is that we always think that we have to be in like a positive state before we can move forward in life. We are probably the first generation in the history of mankind that watches motivational videos. I mean, think about it. Now, yeah, sure, videos are new. They didn't have videos 1,000 years ago. And to some extent, people had motivation because people gave like speeches before they went into battle, etc. But generally speaking, people didn't care that much about motivation throughout history. You had a bad day, you didn't feel like working the farms in the Middle Ages. You didn't feel like picking the berries or going on a mammoth hunt. Well, too fucking bad. You just did what you had to do, right? That was normal. That was normal throughout the entire history of mankind. And now we've come to a point where we sit here and we have to study for college, or we have to go to work, or we have plans, amazing plans to improve our lives and to start our own business. But then we tell ourselves, well, I don't feel that good today, so not today. Or maybe I'll try watching a motivational video, and then if I feel better, then I'll start actually living my fucking life. We think that we have to quit porn first, because once we have quit porn, then our dopamine system is fixed, and then we can start living our life the way that we want to live our life. Or this one, and this one is a lot more controversial, but it's the same idea. We think that if we are depressed, we need to visit a therapist, and the therapist needs to fix us, because right now we are depressed, so we need to isolate ourselves, and we can't see our friends because, that makes us feel uncomfortable, and we can't work our job because we have a depression, and we have to just isolate ourselves and just spend a whole bunch of time talking about sad things with the therapist until the therapist has fixed us, and then we are fixed, and then we no longer feel bad, and then we can continue our life. Then we can actually start seeing our friends again. Then we can actually start working our job again. That's the mindset we have developed. Now, do not get me wrong. I am not saying that I do not believe in mental health. I am not saying that I think depression is a lie. I am not saying that I think that you should never visit a therapist. I'm not saying that I do not believe that quitting porn can give you benefits. But I am saying that the mindset where you put your life on pause and think that you have to sort of fix these things first before you can actually start living your life again is literally the opposite of what you should be doing. You do not get out of a depression by isolating yourself, putting your life on pause, and then talking to a therapist until the therapist has fixed you. You get out of a depression by actually continuing your life. And maybe you do speak to a therapist on the side, but the most important thing is that you actually get your life back on track. You actually start seeing your friends again. You actually start working your job again. You start doing whatever it is. You return back to life. That's how you get out of depression. You are not going to quit porn if your life isn't moving forward. If you don't have things to work towards, if you don't believe in yourself, you are not going to quit porn. If you do set goals, you do start working towards things, you start to believe in yourself, then you are going to find the motivation to quit porn. That's how it works. If you keep waiting until the bad things go away before you can actually start working towards the good things, the bad things won't go away. And the thing that we don't understand is that the bad things never fully go away They can become worse and they can become less again. But the real problem is the fact that we don't understand that the bad things are normal and they are part of life. It's the yin-yang philosophy. People have always felt bad. It's fine. We have turned into this snowflake generation where we sort of forgotten the fact that feeling bad is normal. And we think, oh no, we're not supposed to feel bad. No, we are so sad. Poor us. And it's, oh man, it's all these modern problems that we have because I've developed social anxiety because of modern technology. Oh, poor me. Just take a fucking look back at history. Like what did our ancestors experience? Cavemen went on mammoth hunts. They had friends dying in mammoth hunts. Then they came home and another friend froze to death. And then their wife got raped in a tribal warfare. And they continued life, right? They continued life. In the Middle Ages, people chopped each other up with swords. They had famines, they had oppressions. They continued their life. And they weren't all miserable. They like to paint this image that, everyone that fought in a war is now miserable, or everyone that was a caveman and had a friend die in a mammoth hunt must have been miserable. No. They weren't miserable because they weren't snowflakes and they understood that feeling bad is part of life. In life, you feel both good, you feel both bad. Both of them. Sometimes you feel good, sometimes you feel bad. A lot of the times you feel bad. Most days, you aren't going to feel motivated to work towards your goals. Most days, you aren't going to feel insanely happy. It's life. Life moves on. My grandfather got put in a forced labor camp by the Nazis, where he was forced to build U-boats during the Second World War. The Allies bombarded his shipyard where he was working over 300 times. He survived. Many of his friends died. He had a horrible time. He came home. Guess what he did? He signed up at the local shipyard because he knew how to build ships. He married my grandmother. He had children. Started a family. He worked. He was a husband. He was a father. He liked fishing. He volunteered at this local playground thing. He organized things for the kids in the neighborhood. He was a contributing member of the church. He lived his life. He just continued his fucking life. And yeah, he might have remembered those times and felt bad about it. But he wasn't traumatized to the point where he was a miserable shit that just sat in his room crying by himself and just had a crappy life. No, he had a good life. That's how life works. Humans have always, throughout the entire history of mankind, experienced some fucking heavy shit. Always. And then we sit here in our rooms by ourselves saying, oh no, but I can't go out because, that's uncomfortable because I have social anxiety because, this modern technology, my problems. And I have to fix it first. First, I need to go to a therapist and first I need to do NoFap and watch a motivational video. And then, then I can finally get out of my room again and I can finally talk to strangers and get a job. Then, when the problems are fixed. Just take a critical look at what you're doing, man. You're putting your life on pause. You are pressing the pause button because you are telling yourself that there are these terrible bad things happening to you that need to be fixed first before you can start living your life. And that's actually the very thing that's holding you back. You need to stop pressing the pause button and you need to press play. Go and start living your life.